Hail and good evening. Welcome to Talking Pop Culture with Jake D. Good to see you this evening. And we are here to talk about the first 3 episodes of a new show on SyFy, Resident Alien. So, Resident Alien is apparently based on an old comic book. And the general premise is that an alien has come to Earth and he was on a mission to actually destroy all life on the planet because his species had decided that Earthlings must be exterminated. Unfortunately, the poor guy crashed his ship and he wound up in a town called Patience, Colorado. All right, let's say really quickly hello to whom we have in the chat. Just another red shirt. Hail, sir. Remember, you are the red shirt, and don't let anyone tell you otherwise. Jaffo, welcome to the stream, sir. Glad to have you. And Man of War 665, the neighbor of the beast, welcome. Well, Resident Alien just started airing a couple of weeks ago on the SyFy network, and I have to admit, I was initially not planning to tune into this one, largely because of the network it's on. And truthfully, it doesn't have a good reputation in me. I see that something's on SyFy, and I assume it's going to be generally low quality, not necessarily high production value, and something that just in general probably wasn't going to pique my interest. So this one was just going to be a hard pass for me and not even get into it at all. But then I started hearing some people talking about it. And they said, I saw the first episode and it was pretty damn good. So I was hunting around for a way to watch it. And I was pleased to find that if you go directly to the station's website, SyFy.com, you can watch full episodes of Resident Alien. So great. I can check it out without having to drop for a cable subscription. And yes, totally agree, Red Shirt. SyFy has not, for the most part, been something that has a lot of good content that's really must-see television. And I was absolutely pleasantly surprised by Resident Alien. It stars Allen Tudyk in the role of the alien that's in Earth. And immediately the show opens up where, honestly, he brutally murders an out-of-town doctor and takes over his appearance and his house just outside of town. And interesting setup. So this is the protagonist of the show, mind you, and it opens up with him truthfully committing something of a brutal murder. But Tudyk is so damn charismatic that he makes all of this work. And despite the setup with the SyFy scenario and being what sounds like at first kind of a very serious exposition that we've laid out for you, this show is a comedy and it is absolutely hysterical. The first episode of this show, I could not stop belly laughing all the way through it. Tudyk plays the alien in a really deadpan style because he's a man out of water. It's your sort of traditional one of your story setups where you've got the man out of time, the man out of place, what have you, and the hijinks that are going to ensue from that being a fish out of water type scenario. And Tudyk is playing it absolutely brilliantly in his performance. So his species is able to adjust their appearance to basically take on the molecular structure of something else. So he has to turn himself into a human, which is why he kills the doctor at the beginning. And there's a kid in the town that has a 1 in like a million mutation that allows him to see through the facade that Tudyk is able to put up. And this, of course, leads to lots of interesting situations. And you get Tudyk's alien learning English by watching Law and Order marathons, which was a really neat montage of him developing his ability to pronounce the language and understand what was going on. And he's got it sort of in his head that this is a cool thing. And you get a few really good chuckle scenes where he does the dun dun, that sound from Law and Order, because he's investigating a mystery of the local town doctor having died. And just for clarity's sake, that's not the guy that Tudyk killed and took his place. And the first episode is just, again, it's a laugh a minute. I could not stop myself from just enjoying joke after joke, punchline after punchline of Tudyk interacting with all of these backcountry Colorado mountain town people. You get introduced to the mayor of the town that the sheriff refers to as Mayor Snowflake. And it's absolutely perfect because the guy is absolutely a snowflake. And the sheriff introduces himself to Tudyk's character and lets him know that people call him Big Black. And this is a big black man. And Tudyk, being, again, not really up on issues with things like races, he says, "Oh, it's because of your truck, right?" And of course, he's got the big police SUV. And there's lots of jokes like this that just deal with the man out of place trope. And it could not be played more perfectly by Tudyk. I cannot recommend this show enough. The comedy in it, just for me, it hits on all cylinders and is absolutely just worth your time and your enjoyment. Now, the show's probably not going to be for everyone. It's got a bit of a dark underbelly to it, and the awkwardness and the strangeness of Tudyk's alien it's a bit out there. And I know that our good friend, the Red Shirt, didn't particularly like the first episode just because there's elements to it that are just not going to be everybody's cup of tea. But if you don't mind a little dark humor, this thing is an absolute laugh a minute and so worth your time. In the second episode, we get introduced to Tudyk becoming the town doctor now that the previous one had died. And there's a bit of a situation with him. He's looking for his doomsday device that dropped off his ship when he got hit by lightning and it crashed. And he's constantly looking for this. But in the meantime, he's playing the role of the town doctor. And you get an absolutely hysterical scene where he's learning how to be a doctor via the internet. And he has to give a local resident a pelvic exam. And so he pops his head under the sheet and he's taking a look and he says, "I see the problem. You've sat on an earring." And he goes to pull it out of there. And the woman, of course, is like, no, that's supposed to be there. And it's things like this that just made me just have an absolute joy to watch it. Again, some of the humor is crude. Some of it's a little bit dark, but it really hit for me. And I am so looking forward to seeing what continues to happen. We've had a brief introduction to the fact that there are a couple of government agents looking for Tudyk. Apparently, the U.S. government has some inkling that his ship has crashed and that he may be out there. And apparently, the head of this government organization is played by Linda Hamilton. Yes, Linda Hamilton of The Terminator is going to have at least something of an important role in the show. And I'm looking forward to seeing her. Overall, if the rest of this season continues with the pace that we've seen and the humor and the experience that we've run into from the first 3 episodes, I am going to be so thrilled, excited, and happy because I needed something to laugh at, a good show that I could check out and I could enjoy and just experience it for some escapism. I haven't seen a really solid comedy on TV that really tickled my funny bone hardcore in quite a while now, honestly. And for me, Resident Alien does it. It's pretty obvious in some cases where the plot's going to go. Presumably, Tudyk's going to decide not to destroy the Earth. He's going to eventually decide that he's not going to complete that mission. That's totally predictable because, of course, you're not going to be able to have much of a show if he stays dedicated to his mission to destroy the Earth. So you see that coming. He's obviously going to have problems with these government agents in future episodes. But beyond just being really, really funny, this thing has also got something of an interesting story behind it, which you don't often get with a sitcom type show, which this truly is. It's got its own unique sci-fi tropes, but it's a sitcom, and it's funny as hell. The writing is solid. It just enjoys itself. It's very aware of what it is, and it leans into it, which just makes it an absolute hoot. And I really, truly, strongly recommend that you tune into Resident Alien. I'll probably go ahead and continue to cover this from time to time, maybe every couple of weeks. I don't think this is going to be the type of review that's going to get a heck of a lot of traction on YouTube, but I certainly hope if you're interested in Resident Alien that you do consider checking it out and checking back in here on the channel every couple of weeks when we talk about what's been going on in it. All right. I think that covers everything I wanted to go through in terms of an overall reaction to the first 3 episodes of this show. And I'm going to clock it in at a solid 8.5 out of 10. A great opening to this new series. And I am looking forward to seeing how the story continues along and laughing along with everybody as we do it. So if you're new to the channel, please consider liking the video, share it with your friends on social medias, and I certainly hope that I've earned your subscription tonight. You can catch me tomorrow evening reviewing the season finale of the god-awfully horrible series The Expanse from CBS All Access, and my weekly Howling About Entertainment show at 5:15 Central Time on Sunday evenings right here on the Jake D channel. Thank you, everybody, for coming in. I hope you have a great evening, and we'll talk to you again soon.